Hello friends and fellow VEDSies, welcome to another Tuesday. It's the end of another week of VEDS, so it's time for me to make another one of my sort of VEDS response videos / just overall recap of all your excellent content. But first I want to do a little bit of a video request. So there are 6 others doing this VEDS challenge, and it occurs to me that each and every one of you is, at least to some extent, into D&D. I'm the odd one out in that sense. I've had many people attempt to explain Dungeons & Dragons to me, and I just don't get it. I've never heard 2 Dungeons & Dragons games described in a way that makes me even recognize them as the same game. There's so much variation, there's so much stuff going on. It's like literally I'm over here being like, well, I've seen Tessa's video, so I know there's dice involved, but it's not a board game, and there's character development and a lot of creativity. I don't know how much of the character development is based on like your own just creativity and deciding what path you want your character to go on next, and how much of it is just due to this sort of what would in a video game be referred to as RNG, random and numbered generation, but in this case it's physical dice, chance type thing. I really don't know how D&D works. People have tried to explain it to me, and I just don't get it. So if any of you are struggling for an idea for a VEDS video, which, I mean, you've all done so it's great at putting up videos every day that I don't know if that's even the case, but I'd love to see, like, a complete beginner's guide, like an idiot's guide for getting into D&D, and just explaining in general what it is. The only flaw to a video like that would be that I would be the only VEDSie that would gain any knowledge from it. Also, I know that I could realistically just look it up online and or get a starter kit and figure it out that way, but this just seems more fun. Just a fun little challenge. Anyway, on to the video responses, and I'm going to start with James. I'm going to start by responding to your response to Abbey. It's confusing. I really relate to what you were talking about in that watching the other fellow VEDSies content gives you sort of a mix of admiration and joy, and also just almost guilt. Like, you feel like, oh, well, I mean, I could never be that good. Like, I could never make content like that. I must be the one lagging behind. Because I feel that all the time. I'm actually very proud of the VEDS videos I've uploaded so far, but then I will go back to some of your guys' videos and be like, oh, see, they're on another whole level of awesomeness. And James, I just wanted to say, when it comes to your videos, I realized about a week ago, I was watching through one of your videos, and I was just enjoying it like any other content, and I suddenly came to the realization, like, wait. That's a lot of edits that are going on. Like, you've got the whole source material edited together over yourself talking. Not like my videos where I'll sometimes throw in a little clip of something over myself talking, but it's mostly just my face. You've created, like, this entire scope of edits that tell the story that you're speaking, and I was like, wow, that cannot have been easy. And he's uploading a video every day. I know sometimes you make videos of just yourself talking, which is cool, but I'm like, man, the amount of effort that goes into this must be crazy. And, like, you do it so well. That's why it took me so long to realize how much effort must have gone into it, because, like, it's so seamless that it seems natural, but yeah, clearly you're working very hard, and, I mean, you're making some great stuff. Also, I can't remember if I mentioned this last week, but this is literally your first video. Your first video. It's still in my head. I cannot get the horrifying imagery of the Burger King guy, mascot dude. This is not going to make any sense if you're not a VEDSie. Go watch James's first day video if you haven't already, and this will all make sense. But it's the Burger King mascot, tape measuring inches of the dancing girls in the SpongeBob SquarePants square pants. That's a sentence that's not going to make sense. I told you it wasn't going to make sense if you don't know the video, but it's an image that is burned into my brain, and I would like it to go away. Okay, thanks. I'll move on to Caleb. Nashville has a Parthenon? Wow. If I'd seen that picture and someone had just told me, yeah, that thing you're looking at, that's in Nashville, I'd be like, what? But that looks like a fun adventure. I'm glad you got to go and do that. That's my type of videos. You know, I like to make the adventure videos. Although yours was nice and calm and quiet, and mine are like 12 minutes of look over here, look over here, look over here. But yeah, no, I love that video. Oh, and also I will absolutely at some point during VEDS take part in requests to keep adding songs to that playlist. I love having new playlists. I have a job where I drive around for 7 hours a day, so new playlists are something I'm always looking for. Y'all have made some really fun playlists, and I'm going to add approximately 10 songs of my own to that at some point. Jeffrey, I actually really enjoyed your bloopers video. I'm sorry to pick the bloopers video out of your whole week of excellent content. I'm sorry to pick the one that was most, I don't want to say unintended because it made for a great video, but I think I mentioned this in the comments as well. It's something that I have a lot of admiration for YouTubers and or people who just are open with having their bloopers available, because it shows to me a level of being okay with your own flaws, or at least making an attempt at being okay with your own flaws. I do not share that skill quite so well. If I were to include my bloopers in videos, it would be more like this. And also, you're speaking English is not hard. You mean to teach you how to speak English, you dumb. So I'd love to do something like that in the future, if only to be able to convert my own mistakes and failings into potential content. Then I could perhaps view my own mistakes in a more positive light. Abbey, oh my god, your 6-word stories were so nice. Aww, they were so cute. I don't even really have words. I just had a big stupid grin on my face that whole video. I felt really loved, especially when you said you were like scoping out, like, is it possible to make a road trip to Vancouver? I have no idea where you're even from, so I can't even, I don't even know where you live, so I have no idea how possible that is. I'm guessing not very, since we're all pretty spread out across North America. But, and I'm only assuming you're in North America. Based on the accent, that would make sense. But yeah, particularly those last 4 words, play me a story. Oh, that's so cool. Youthful historian, play me a story. I love it. It's just so cute, and it's so exactly what I hope to do. And also, yes, from your video that just went up today, I am proud and honored to call myself a professional air wiggler, aka wizard. I told you guys this video would make no sense if you haven't been following along with VEDS. To Alicia, moving on to Alicia, your short fiction. I can't, it's so beautiful. No, it really is. I am so guilty of this whenever Alicia presents me with anything, because obviously friends in real life, you guys know that. Whenever she presents something in real life, I struggle to convey my feelings about it. I wind up saying, like, it's just so good and great and I like it. Like, I'm not good at finding the correct, I don't know, superlatives to describe how I feel about something. But that short fiction just does such a good job of sort of, like, it almost explained to me the concept that I've heard many people describe to me of like a comfortable depression. Maybe I'm not saying that I'm necessarily interpreting it the exact way you intended it to, but I don't know, art's in the, what do you say, like, art's in the eye of the beholder? I don't know what I'm talking about, but, just talking about how the thunderstorms, though dangerous and, gloomy, are they're just the way you describe them as being necessary to put out the wildfires, which again, something I relate to because we live in the same wildfire-ravished part of the world. And I don't know, it all came together so beautifully for me. It was so touching, and I loved it very much. And finally, that brings me to Tessa. I loved your video on how the casting of voice talent has changed over the years, from these roles being given to people who played the roles the best and were the most talented voice actors for the job, to, and again, like you said, not saying they're not talented, the biggest stars and the people that could draw the biggest crowd to go see the movies. I think I mentioned this in the comments that I had originally just assumed when you said that. I was like, well, yeah, Pixar changed all that with their casting of Toy Story and pretty much every movie after it. But you made the excellent point that, of course, Robin Williams was the genie in Aladdin, and even before that, Billy Joel plays a talking dog in Oliver and Company. I have that movie on a video cassette, and I love Billy Joel, but I haven't gotten around to watching it because I haven't heard excellent things about it. But that's so interesting. I loved your whole breakdown of the casting of voice roles throughout the years, and I found it very interesting that Disney was toying with that concept as early as the 80s, and it's quite possibly the failure of that movie, Oliver and Company, that, I mean, I guess it must have caused some dedicated voice actors to stay in the business a few years longer. And also, I loved your video on your 20 I ams, your 20 I am statements. I told you I would try to come up with 10 of my own. I'm not going to do 20. This video is long enough as it is. But here goes nothing. I am a musician. It was very important to me to put that first. I am Canadian. I am semi-bilingual. I guess I should say formerly bilingual. I was in French immersion for a couple of years, which is school where it's spoken mainly in French. I can read French fairly well. Not super fluently, but I can get through pages of writing. It might take me a little longer than an English piece would. But when it comes to speaking French, that's mostly gone out of my brain. I am a homebody with a travel hobby, which is to say that when I'm at home, I'm fantasizing about traveling, and when I'm traveling out on the road, I am fantasizing about being back home in my nice bed. I am an older brother. I am a 25-year-old living in my parents' basement. I should really stop. I should really stop doing that. I am relatively mentally healthy, which is a fact that I do not take for granted. I'm very thrilled about that. I know that that's not the case for everyone, and I count my lucky stars. I am motivated, something I'm very proud of, because when I was in high school, basically until I was in my 20s, I considered myself chronically unmotivated. I was not a hard worker particularly. I would always get C's in all my classes, and I would not do my homework, and I even loved guitar, and I wouldn't play it very much. Something clicked when I was in my early 20s that I was like, well, dude, it's now or never to do all the things you want to do, and I think I've done a pretty good job of getting a lot of stuff done, even if I don't always feel like I'm where I want to be. And finally, I am an avid RuneScaper, and I am a VEDSie. And I'm very stoked about that. Here we are 2 weeks into VEDS, pretty much halfway, can't believe it. We'll be back with more content tomorrow and every day for the rest of this month, and another one of these VEDS recap videos next Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, fellow VEDSies, for being awesome, and I'll catch y'all again tomorrow.